The Ruling Class is a play that I think is going to confound all your expectations. It's provocative and it's satirical and it's shocking. And the role of Jack, I thought it was a great opportunity to slap the audience about the face and make them laugh and surprise them and horrify them all at the same time. And that just sounded like a really fun thing to do to a group of people.
I mean, it's a very fun production, but it also feels very timely in terms of the themes, and given the political and financial state of the world, is that something that interested you as well, and something you think audiences are going to react to?
Do you know what? I've got nothing against private schools, and I've got nothing against the best schools in the world, but you know, it is true that the vast majority of the people in the cabinet happen to be boarding people, to be boarders. They had that boarding education, and that education isn't what they are selling to the rest of the country. So I think a play that is about institutionalised abandonment in the form of boarding school and a group of people who think it's okay to say we should go hunting peasants, a play about that seems quite appropriate for the here and now. Aside from that, it's just a really excellent play. Even if it wasn't appropriate and current and timely, it'd still be a great night at the theatre.
Of course, you're working with a fantastic director in Jamie. Can you talk about that relationship and what brings you back to Trafalgar Transformed specifically?
Jamie Lloyd is somebody who lets everybody be really brave. He doesn't take an idea that somebody gives him and then beat it down. He tries to make actors more of what they already are. He tries to make them grow and be bold and be fearless, and that's all you really want, you know. Added to that, he's got a great political eye and a great sort of social eye. For programming, and he does exciting things. It's very hard to find exciting things that producers want to put on, but he manages to find dangerous, exciting things and manages to find producers that want to do it. So it's good.
An exciting run ahead of you. Fans are also really looking forward to X-Men Apocalypse. I'm curious, the first film was very much about Eric's journey, the second was about Charles. What are you personally looking forward to getting back to with that one? I've
absolutely no idea what's going to happen in the next one. I've got one plot line sort of gift that was given to me, but the rest I've just got to wait and see, I'm afraid. So I'm in the dark, like all fans.
You got a message to fans before you leave us?
I got a message for fans. No. Enjoy it. I hope you really like it. But no, not really.
James is one of the most phenomenal actors I've ever worked with. He is just so amazing and also so down to earth, and so what's so great about being on stage with him is that every moment is real, every moment is reinvented, and he's just there, and it's brilliant to play with, and he's just such an open, warm human being as well, and we have a great time on stage. It's a phenomenal play, it's an amazing cast. The director, Jamie, is just one of the best directors I've ever worked with. He makes you feel really confident, and that's really good, because everyone's at ease and we're all having a great time. But it's a great show to be involved in. Really dark, really funny, and really pertinent to now. Well, the play is about class, and it's about politics, and it's to the playwrights. He's such an amazing playwright, Peter Barnes, that he's written a classic, and classic plays like Shakespeare, like Greek plays, they all talk about politics, and they're all timeless because politics never changes really. But the class system in Britain is quite an interesting thing, and over the last little while, from John Major onwards, we've been led to sort of believe that it's a classless society. And in the last 5 years, it's really turned on its head, and we're back to a position where the rich are very rich and the poor are very poor, and it's very, the class system has never really gone away. And what's so interesting about this play is that it talks about that in a very comic, satirical way, but quite biting as well. And that's why I think the play works for today. It says an awful lot for us. Well, I'm very fortunate, and this is my third play at the Trafalgar Transformed. I was in Macbeth with James. I was fortunate to do that, and that and Richard III with Martin Freeman. And both those plays that we had, it was in Traverse. There were people behind us, there were audience behind us. And this time, Jamie, because of the nature of the play and the nature of the style of the piece, he decided to have it very much cross arch. And what's been tremendous is that when Jamie moved into the space, he raised the stage up, and we're really intimate with the audience, but also the space can be quite epic as well. And it means that it makes the show really exciting and enervating. And what's really good is that we have a Monday night is a £15 across the board, and it's for people that haven't really been to the theatre before, young people and also older people who've never been to the theatre. And those Monday nights are always really, really exciting because the audience are just different and alive. It's really fantastic. It's very lucky to have been here for a third time. It's been great. But Melanie, what did you think? What did you think about seeing the show? You didn't know anything about it because I haven't really told you anything about the play.
Yeah, I knew very little about it, and I was aware there was a film first, and just knew little bits and pieces. Forbes pretty much kept it quite close to his chest, so I would hear little snippets of lines being practiced around the house, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, and things like that. And it was absolutely amazing. It was so funny, totally bonkers, but also quite dark, and very relevant, even though we've talked about how it was written however many years ago. But it was just a joyous experience, and I think the audience just collectively went with the whole madness of it and the fun of it, and were quite shocked. There's a few twists and turns in it that is very unexpected. And it was just absolutely joyous. Every performance was amazing. It looked great. And that's the third time that I've seen Forbes at the Trafalgar. I've seen all the other shows as well. And it's such a fantastic space. It is a very intimate space, which that's lovely as an audience member, because you feel you feel part of the whole experience. And you can see everything brilliantly, and you can hear everything, and you don't just feel like you're observing, you feel part of it, which is lovely. It was a brilliant show.
I suppose the bishop is really part of the establishment. I mean, he's the dog-collared, God-calling part of the establishment. There are the aristocrats and there are the bishops who are part of the family, literally and socially, you know. So yeah, I mean, he quotes bits of the Bible and he's very serious about life, but in fact, everything around him is total immoral chaos, but he finds a way that makes that okay. Well, I think it's extraordinarily relevant for a play that was written in 1969 or so. Suddenly the whole, the circle comes round, or else maybe it never went away. Of corruption. There's a wonderful line in the play that says 1% of the population own 50% of the country. And you think, that hasn't changed. If anything, that's got worse. So I think that's a very striking observation. And if somebody was writing a play today, they might well say something like that, fantastic. I think his energy and his application to detail, and he never leaves it alone. He goes on and on till it's perfect, and it's wonderful to watch. I mean, he's an immensely talented young man, and it's a joy to be on a stage with him. I mean, I really do mean that. He's a tremendous chap.
I didn't know what the production was going to be until tonight, really. But the play, really, I mean, it's, at first read, entirely bonkers. And luckily Jamie Lloyd helped me understand just what it was about. And I'd always wanted to work with him. Heard a rumour that James McAvoy can act, so I thought, okay, yeah. It's been great. I'm especially impressed tonight because we have a big fight in the play, big sword fight. And a minute into the fight, my sword snapped in two. And I looked into his eyes with a sense of panic, and James McAvoy solved the issue by throwing his sword away and sort of bumming me. It worked. The shocking thing about it is, this was written in '68, at a time when people thought the elite as it was crumbling. And although lots of things in this play are dated, there are no longer any real hang 'em and flog 'em lords left, well, vocally. The bonds that keep the ruling class together still seem to remain. There's a big thing about old Etonians, there's a thing about people helping each other out through the old school tie system. And that stuff, embarrassingly, still exists. And the audiences respond accordingly. And you think, yeah, we haven't really moved on. It feels like there was a brief moment of social democracy in a country, and it's gone.
Peter Barnes hasn't been done. This particular play of Peter Barnes hasn't been done since 1968. Way overdue in being reintroduced to the public domain. It's a strange play, to say the least. There are so many layers to this theatrical onion. We've got schizophrenia, we've got mental depression, we've got a comedy element, and we've got a man who thinks he's God, but actually what he's really done, he's hidden for 7 years thinking he's Christ, because he can't confront the truth of who he really is. And when he's made better, he does confront the truth of who he is, and of course who he is the Antichrist, the devil, Jack the Ripper. So it's a very strange play, high comedy, desperately demonistic drama, so it has everything. It's great to be back working with Jamie. I'm amazed and privileged to have come back so soon after Richard III, which we did at the end of last summer. He's a wonderful young director, and he's so supportive of his actors, which any actor will tell you is half the battle when you're putting on a new play. He gives you so much encouragement and freedom to try things out, and much of what we did, and some of the laughs we got, is because Jamie goes, yeah, that's lovely. So he goes with it. But it's great to be back, and he's one of the big ones for the future. What I look for is something to hide behind, something really, because I'm no good at being myself. Because I think most actors look to be someone else than themselves. I think it's a deep-rooted insecurity in actors that they have to find something that they can latch onto. And I definitely find the more of a facade I can put up, the more confident and relaxed I am on stage. I think we're going to get a massive response from younger audiences. We had a Monday night 15-pounders, and it was lovely to see so many young faces in the audience. I think the space at Trafalgar Studios, it will encourage a lot of youngsters to come into the theatre, and that's what we want, because that's the next generation, and without them it will slowly die.